Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Hardscape Growth Show. Today, we are joined by Richard Carroll of RC Outdoor. Richard, today we're going to talk about starting a business and running a business, and you come at it from a bit of a unique perspective because although you have a lot of experience in the industry, you started your business just a couple of years ago, and that was in your mid-30s. So there's a bit of life experience, there's a bit of career experience that goes into starting that business. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that journey before we get started?
Yeah, so I'm currently 37, got into the business 2.5 years ago. That was probably when I was about 34, 35 years old. I've got a landscape design background. So I was a designer at a past company before I started my own business. So I had experience with design, I had experience with sales, managing clients, managing projects. Didn't know too much about the construction side or the business side, but also started when we had a 1-year-old and we had another on the way, and my wife was kind of changing careers. She thought about getting her master's, and so we had a lot going on. Life was kind of crazy, and I really had no choice but to succeed, so I had a lot of pressure, had a lot of weight on me, and I could envision it. I could totally see everything working out. My wife, not so much. She's more of like a glass half empty kind of person, but I could totally see it happen. And this has kind of been my dream, excuse me, for the longest time. Been in maintenance before design, and I just knew I wanted to pursue some sort of creativeness in the landscape field, and that was where one step led to the next. And fortunately, I jumped with a pretty large project. So I jumped with a project that lasted me about 2 months, and so from then on, I was willing to take on anything, whether it be cleaning gutters, spring cleanups. I mean, you name it. I was willing to go out there and make some money, just to keep the business afloat. But
just to get the cash coming in.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I didn't do hardly any of those projects. I don't like to say luck, but I had some luck on my side. I had some good connections and I think before I say luck, I feel like the harder you work, the luckier you get. And so the more people I was telling, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Here's my plan. I'm going to go into business, tell your friends, and that was kind of like my first way of marketing, advertising, tell everybody, tell your mama, tell everybody. And so that kind of made its way around. And, I jumped in, I think it was June or July of the season. So I had maybe 4 or 5 months. I think I did maybe 5 patios that year, had a couple mulch jobs, a couple planting jobs. So I'd had some life experience. I wasn't fully supporting our family. My wife makes good money, and so there wasn't that as much fear there. But yeah, I feel like I had some life experience. I had business experience. I had some design sales, and that plus hard work, I feel like, has got me to where I'm at now.
So you had the benefit or the luxury of being able to learn a couple of the key skills to starting a business, namely sales. Because if you can't sell, there's no money coming into the business. So you were able to hone those skills, backed with a landscape design background and the managing of customers, the front side or the customer facing side of the business you had a lot of experience with. You had to learn the back end side, the construction side, the business management, the hiring, the team management, all those other aspects that aren't visible from the outside necessarily. Doing that, having that fire burning kind of under your butt there to get things going because you had to earn money. I'm sure you cut your teeth pretty fast. And I think what I'd be curious to know about is when you look back on that startup period and you look at all the other people that you talk about, and I know that you have some very good relationships, in large part thanks to social media. And if anybody's not following you yet, it's at RC Outdoor on Instagram. I've known you to be a really honest, really transparent, really humble guy. And everyone I talk to, if just talking about doing this podcast, everyone's like, "Are you going to talk to Richard? Like that guy's a great guy. And he always has great stories. He's super open." I'm like, yeah, he's definitely on the list. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious from that perspective, coming from that all that background that I just said. What's a commonly held belief about the landscape or hardscape industry or running a business in the industry that you passionately disagree with?
I would say the fact that you have to grow. I feel like a lot of guys feel like you have to jump into business and you have to just multiply. You have to, add employees, you have to add crew members, you have to add designers, and I feel like from my perspective, if you create a really unique niche in your area and you're the only guy in your area, like in my instance doing, I would say, creative projects, then I feel like you can charge a premium rate, only do 15 to 20 jobs a year, and still make, decent money. I mean, it's not about the money, but we go into business and we have to make money to stay afloat.
That's part of the game.
I love to be small. I love to be on the job site, communicating with the customer, building the projects. Nothing goes wrong because I'm over everything. I oversee it. I manage it. I feel like that's something that maybe younger kids will get stuck into. They think they have to grow. And if that's what they want and they aspire to be a large company, then great. I don't feel like you have to do that to be successful, to make a good living, for you and your family.
Everyone sees Grant Cardone on Instagram with all those stories and 10x everything. And
Yep.
You don't need to do that to make a good living, to be satisfied with the business you've built, and to really live out the dream that you saw for yourself, which was probably the big motivator for starting a business on your own in the first place, because you want to have that freedom to do what you want. And for
Yep.
you, with that design background, you want that freedom to create and really transform outdoor spaces for people. So if
Yep.
you want to be involved in that process, then you have a decision to make early on with how you're going to run that business.
No, exactly. And it's something that I think about even last week, I'm thinking about growth and how I want to grow. And I think that this is just from my perspective. I feel like at some point, maybe we get bored and we kind of want a challenge and we want to add something to our plate to keep it running. And because I've got a fire within me and I always want to do things different and change things up. But I think I'm good where I'm at, man. I've got 2 young kids. Like I can't imagine having to spend more than the hours that I'm spending right now on the business. So I'm good. I mean, I'm looking to grow other ways. Really looking to push YouTube this coming next year. That's something that'll add to my kind of creativeness in my head. That'll give me some sort of outlet to put that out there. And it's something I enjoy as well. So I'm thinking if I can push that way as far as growth and not be so concerned about revenue and 10x and sales and all the other stuff.
So tell me, like, what's that mean though? Like YouTube, what's the plan? Without divulging your whole strategy or anything, but just like why that and what do you hope to get out of it?
I feel like there's a lot of value in that. Kind of going back to doing 15 to 20 jobs a year. If I'm creating a YouTube channel and I've got, let's say, a year or 2 years worth of work on YouTube, and I go meet with Mrs. Jones, go check out our YouTube page. And then they go to our YouTube page and they're almost like wild, and it legitimizes us more than maybe what they saw from our Facebook and Instagram. And so maybe we're getting more of a premium rate doing those 15, 20 jobs. Because after that, word of mouth, like being in 2 years, word of mouth has been slowly trickling in. So like last year I had almost quadruple the leads that I had the year before, and then the same as the year before. So I think if I've got 100 leads coming in per year, and I'm not saying I'm gouging customers. I feel like what we bring is extremely valuable to what we do and what we bring to somebody's backyard. So I think, and then there's also some monetary value in YouTube. It's not the real reason that I'm getting into YouTube. It excites me. I love the creativeness. I love to be able to kind of show and maybe give more of our platform for our work. So I really don't know because I haven't jumped into it yet. I might change and evolve as we go into it. That's kind of the plan before jumping in here this year.
Okay, but it sounds like you kind of have two main objectives. One is to present the quality and diversity and creativity that RC Outdoor brings to the customer on an elevated platform to really show, like, look, luxury, quality, creativity, uniqueness. These are all things that we stand for and that we can deliver for you. And video is a very engaging platform to do that. And the other one is you want to have a creative outlet so that because you enjoy that creative process. So creating videos that allow you to tell that story is something that's fun. And that's a great way to look at it. This is something that's going to position my company where I want to position it. It's going to get the message out there. YouTube is a fantastic platform. It's actually the second most popular search engine after Google. So if you're able to get found there, you're probably going to get a lot of leads. You're probably going to want to figure out some different pre-qualification mechanisms to build into your whole marketing and sales process if you're getting 4 times the leads now, and that's just after 2 years in business, but that'll be a different conversation. You said something there that I found interesting, which was you said that you're able to charge a bit of a premium because you're kind of niching down in your sorry, that's the French Canadian in me. You're finding a niche that's more specific to you and to what you bring forward. So you kind of have an identity that either you have created or you're seeking to create, and you're trying to find those people with that type of project. And by doing that, that's allowing you to potentially charge a bit of a premium because you're delivering exactly what they want. And then you said, we're not gouging people. I'm not trying to gouge people. I think we bring value. Can you expand on that a little bit? Like, how do you establish, like, what's a fair price, what's a fair premium, as you put it, to be charging for the uniqueness that you bring or the value that you distinctly bring?
That's a great question. I don't know if I can answer it fully, but as far as the niche aspect, what we bring to the table as far as our designs, I feel like people they're so wowed by it and they fall in love with it. And that's, as a business owner, as a designer, like that just gives me like chills. Like, I love that when they fall in love with it. But as far as the niche, like, if they so I sell them the design, they own it, it's theirs, and they have every right to go and give that to, whoever down the road and have them price it out. And I feel like the designs that I'm creating, that I feel like there's not people in the area that are going to want to undertake that. One of the reasons Techoblock is
you're taking it like, sorry, and I know you're about to talk about Techoblock, but you're talking about just putting the show's about you, not about me.
Right.
You're taking your designs just that little extra bit forward that you feel that you're distancing yourself from most of your competitors.
Correct. I mean,
right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And
I just wanted to clarify that. Keep going.
Yeah. So Techoblock. All right. So another niche that I wanted to create is nobody uses Techoblock in our area. And so for me to go, or for the homeowner to go present the design that I sold them to somebody else to bid out, it's very unlikely that they're going to even want to start to price that out. Number one, it's Techoblock. They don't even know what Techoblock is. Number two, some of our inlays, some of our swirls and curls, I don't think that people would want to touch that, and it may not be their style, their brand. So come back to RC Outdoor is the only guy that's going to create this sort of space in my yard. That kind of answer your question?
Yeah, it's there's one thing that, like, you mentioned the fact that, like, in your area, Techoblock is relatively new. Not a lot of people are using it. Even when you get to the point where it becomes more mainstream, like I live in Montreal in Canada where Techoblock was founded. Like Techoblock is the number one brand. But even then, we have so many different colors, textures, shapes, sizes that you can still make your style come through with your designs, and it makes it very different. So it's not just the product, and I think that's important. Even like for me, like am I biased? Do I think we make great products? Fantastic products, yes, I do. But I don't think the products are what make the design. I think the design and the intelligent use of the products is what really brings the value to the consumer. And you said one thing, which is all the circles and the curves. It's funny, I was looking at your Instagram last night, and that was something that I saw was like the first thing I wrote it down. It's right here, circles. Like, you do a lot of circles. Yeah. And for a lot of people, they look at circles and they're like, okay, circles are maybe more traditional, maybe more old school, or maybe they look at circles and they're like, that's a lot of man hours because that's a lot of cutting. Why are circles important to your designs?
I guess, it's a great question because I wouldn't say it was something that I intentionally wanted to push. We did a couple on our first couple patios. So I had 8 or 9 patios as far as my portfolio when I was speaking with clients, potential clients, and they always went back to the circles. They always loved the idea of the circle with a fire pit and maybe a sitting wall and a different paver material than the rest of the field. And if that's something they fall in love with, then I'm going to fall in love with it as well. So I would, I've been creating different looks and there are a lot of man hours and it makes for awesome drone shots. But yeah, the people seem to love it. And so now I'm kind of getting into half circles and 3/4 circles and different radiuses. So that's something that's kind of like evolved to where I am today. It's become pretty popular. Yeah. It's a lot of work. I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to not do as many circles because I'm trying to fit more jobs in, trying to save a little bit more time. But then again, if it's a popular item, then we'll just keep doing circles, man.
Just adjust your pricing accordingly.
Exactly.
You're already positioned that way, but I like that it wasn't necessarily an intentional thing because a lot of guys ask us like, how do you create that brand? How do you create that identity? And it just kind of you can start with like a very clear vision, but most people don't. It just kind of evolves to like what the people like, and then you start getting like laser focused on that. And that becomes your look and your style and your brand, and that becomes the identity, and then that's what people associate with you, and then that's what attracts other people that like that. And if people are coming to you because they like what you have to offer right off the bat, well, that puts you in a great position to make the sale.
Correct.
Yeah, go for it. Go.
Yeah, I mean, you just made me think of something that popped up, kind of how like my design and how our brand has evolved over time. And I was just thinking, I did start out my business wanting to be unique. I did want to stand out. I just maybe didn't really know the right avenues to do so. And this is like, I think about it all the time. I've never really talked about it before with a lot of people, but it was our 3rd patio that we had ever done. And we were doing a job for an interior designer. So she knew design. She was really good at it. And she had a Techoblock catalog, and I have no idea how she got it. But she loved the Borealis. And so what evolved from maybe just a linear Borealis patio turned into using 2 different colors and then doing a herringbone, which ended up using the 3 different browns in both sizes in a herringbone. And we did a circle, and we used the Prescott wall around the ends. After doing that job, I just got so excited. I mean, that was the first time that Techoblock had tagged us. And I remember my wife and I were at Noodles. We were at a restaurant eating, and it popped up on my phone, my rep. It was Chris at the time. He's like, hey man, Techo just tagged you, or they just added you on their Instagram page. And I'm like, what? So I'm like checking it out, and I'm just like, it was just a really cool feeling. People just got excited about it. I got a lot of followers, which was cool at the time. Now, like followers, it's whatever. But it was exciting, man. People would just got super excited about it, man. And so it got me excited, and it got me to want to push the borders and the boundaries on design. And I really feel like that is really what changed me. And I can't take full credit for that design. Sarah, she was the interior designer, really, she just saw it. And luckily I had the ability to build it and put it in. And then from that, I created another really interesting patio, which was the Blue Grande job we did. It had the Squadra swoosh in it with the raffinado. It was the kitchen or the fire pit you commented on last night. So that just kind of set a fire in me, man. I feel like that was the start of RC Outdoor and kind of our brand and what it is today.
So it was really, once you did that kind of unique thing, you just kind of got a little more discovered, and that was the motivator to just like, we're going to go all in on the creative side because people like that. Clearly people like that. People are willing to pay for it. That's the direction the business is going in.
Absolutely, and I liked it. Like I love to be able to do something, that nobody's doing. And I feel like I've got all these crazy ideas. For me to like get these ideas out of my head, put them on the program, show them the customer, and then build it is just, it's kind of mind-boggling to me. So that's what keeps me going. That's what fires me up, and that's, that keeps me fired up today.
You mentioned designs, and I have a feeling that you have a pretty strong opinion on this. Regarding running a business and dealing with customers, what's something that everyone should stop doing right now?
I feel like, if we're going in the design direction, I feel like people should stop giving away free designs. Well, for me at least. I mean, when I was new,
Why?
I did.
Why do you feel that way?
Right. I had to sacrifice, my time to do that. But I feel like to better our industry, we've got to, if you're charging $100, if you're charging $500 or $1,000, it's another way of qualifying your customers, another way of adding some revenue, to the business. Also, you're spending, at least I'm spending a lot of time designing, and I feel like I'm still not charging enough kind of where I'm at, but I feel like I'm changing, I'm evolving every year. The things that we're doing are changing. So I would say that people should definitely start charging for designs. Stop selling themselves short on that.
Why do you feel like you don't charge enough?
You
said that, right? You feel like
that's a good question.
You're probably not charging enough.
I feel like maybe it's because I know what a lot of other contractors are charging. And I also don't want to get to where I'm comparing myself to other guys. And you can always build a little bit more into the project. For me, I want to get the lead. I want to get the sale. I want the opportunity to sell them my vision. So if, let's say, I up my prices to $1,000 or $1,500, like personally, I would hate to lose that opportunity to present them my vision. If I feel like if I can present my vision with my design on the computer screen, show them, and I feel like most of the time, if I'm in their budget, that job's sold.
Can I challenge that thinking a little bit?
Sure.
And it's easy for me to say it because, like, I'm a marketing guy at Tackle Block. I'm not running my own business. But if you're telling me right now that you have demand for your services and for your designs, you have an identity that people are willing to pay a premium for. You have evidence of that already of 2 years in business that have proven that people are willing to pay you a bit more because you do things a little differently, a little creatively, a little more unique to whatever they want. If you're able to generate more leads, because you said now you're getting 4 times the leads today than you were a year ago. If that number of leads, which you said was about 100, right? So if you're getting about 100 leads now, and those 100 or so leads now are getting, are paying for designs, let's say, or 50%. What percentage is paying for designs right now, actually? Like, let's do the math. You got 100 leads. How many pay for a design?
So let's say we've got 100 leads coming in. I would say 100 of those aren't great leads. I would say paid designs are probably do 30 paid designs a year. Some jobs we don't have designs if it's a sidewalk or if it's like a front stoop or something simple like that.
They're really simple. And then out of that, you said your goal is to do like 15, 20 projects a year, right?
Correct.
All right, so I'm just going to write jobs here. So you got 100 leads. Out of the 100 leads, about 30% of them, 30 paid designs, 30% become paid designs. And of that, about half of those turn into sold projects.
Correct. Maybe a little bit more than half, yeah.
So the marketing logic would be if you can generate more leads, then you can charge a higher price for your designs. Perhaps your percentage of paid design ratio would come down. Maybe it'll drop to 25 or 20%. But if the 20% of the bigger number equates to the same number of designs that you can output in a season, you've managed to generate more revenue, and the rest of the ratio stays the same. You're doing 30 paid designs, but now instead of $500, they're $1,500. And the jobs that are sold as a result of a $1,500 design, I would probably be willing to bet that you'd be able to charge an even greater premium because they see that much value in what you have to bring to the table that they were willing to pay up front $1,500 for a design instead of $5.
True. No, I agree with that. I think I'm getting there. I'm being 2 years in, I'm still like, I'm not getting calls every day, every other day sort of thing. So I think I'm changing. I mean, our prices have jumped since last year and they've jumped since the last year. Also,
and don't get me wrong. Look, I'm not saying like you're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying from an outside perspective, listening to you talking about your business, I see an opportunity based on the goal that you said that you wanted to hit. You want to charge more for designs. So that's just one way to do it. There's other ways to do it, I'm sure. That's just my idea here at 9 o'clock in the morning talking to you.
No, I totally feel you. I want to get there. I've got some goals set and some plans we want to hit, and I'd like to be able to charge more with designs. I am starting to do more freelance designs as well, which brings in another decent amount of income. But I like what you're saying, though. I mean, that's the math side. It makes sense. Increase our leads, increase our designs, charge more. No, good input. I like that.
You know what? Inadvertently, you're already planning to do something that's going to do that for you, which is your YouTube plan.
Exactly.
That's going to generate more leads for you, and then you can raise the bar on your pre-qualification. Right now, your bar is we charge $500 for design. Raise the bar to $1,000, or even just you could raise it incrementally by month. This year's probably going to be nuts again. So you could raise it like $600 a month, $700, and just see like how it's going and hit that number that you feel comfortable with. Like these are just ways that you can do it. I like the fact that you said that people need to stop giving designs away for free, though, because one of the many lessons my dad taught me when I was a kid was if you're good at something, don't do it for free. And I think that a lot of people in our industry undervalue what they bring to the table. Why do you think that is?
I think we get stuck in, like for instance, I had to have a gutter guy. He's a gutter contractor, come and quote my gutters. I had some issues and I had some fascia board coming down. Called the guy repeatedly, never showed up, called his boss. Finally, like 3 months later, calls me back. Oh, I'm so sorry. We got so busy. Just horrible service, Then we had another issue with a plumber. And I feel like as contractors, I hate to use the word but we're contractors in the customer's eyes, right? And I feel like we get this bad rap because of what other contractors are doing in our area. And I think that somehow makes us feel like a normal contractor, right? And I feel like we're almost have to prove to potential customers that we're honest, we're legit, we're true, we're going to do our word. So I feel like, and having maybe the lack of confidence to like, hey, I'm going to charge you $1,000 for this design, but this is what you're going to get out of it, So I think maybe going into it lack of, which I'm the same way, man. I hate to like go into a meeting like, hey, it's going to cost you $1,000 for this design. But if you can back that design up with what you're going to do, what sort of value you're going to bring to the table, then I feel like that's a lot easier. And also be the first person to mention it. Like, don't have the customer ask you, oh, so how much it's going to cost? And then you're like,
Yeah.
$1,000.
Proactively, yeah, just yeah.
Yeah, put it out there. Be confident.
Proactively put it out.
Exactly.
But
So
I think that's the thing though. Confidence is the key in this whole thing.
Yep.
Like, it's just it I totally understand the feeling, the lack of confidence, the like, I don't know, like, am I charging too much? What's everyone else charging? But what you just said, because the industry gets painted with this brush of people that you have to chase to get an answer. They don't call you back. They don't show up on time. They don't deliver what they promise. But that's not you. And the customer that's going to hire you is because you have proven to them that you answer the phone when it rings, you call people back when you say you will, you respond with emails, you provide quotes that are detailed, you deliver. That all of that is building that trust. And the reason why, at least in my opinion, the reason why people look at contractors and say, well, like, you're coming in at $35,000 for this project and that guy's doing it for $29, I'm going to go with him, is because they don't see the difference between you and the other guy. And you need to be able to show that difference. And whether it be by design or whether it be by the customer experience or whether it be by the way that you present yourself, these are all differentiators that you can bring to the table that help you stand out from the crowd. But you need to have that confidence, just like you had the confidence to start your business. Like, you knew starting it was going to work. You didn't know how, you didn't know when, you didn't know exactly what you were going to do, but you knew it was going to work. You had that confidence in yourself. You need to still have that same confidence in yourself in front of a customer. You know better than anyone in that situation what your value is, not them.
Correct. And that also goes, having the confidence and also having the ability to educate them on why you might be at 35 and your competition's at 29. Right. Like, man, like, in my instance, my experience, like, hey, like, we put everything on Instagram. Like, we do stories all day of our construction, our build. We have, 6,000, 7,000 followers. Like, like, we're doing it the right way in front of a mass audience. And we walk you through step by step. Once you follow us on Instagram, watch our stories, watch how we do the builds, see how honest we are, see how passionate we are about what we do. And that's another thing. If you come across as passionate, and you're like in the yard, like, hey, we're going to put a fire pit here because of this. We're going to put a kitchen here because of this. If you come off as exciting, like, when have you ever seen a plumber excited about fixing a pipe or any other contractor excited?
Coming across here.
There you go. We're going to paint it blue and put little pink stripes on and do a little inlay up here. And I think if you can, like, come in with confidence, well, I'll admit, I don't come in with a lot of confidence sometimes, but if you can educate them, if you've got a great portfolio, you come across excited and like wanting to do the work, and you're able to like portray and show that vision, it's the vision that they want, then that sells the job,
So we started the show here wanting to talk about, starting a business or operating a business. And I mean, we'd never be able to cover that in a single episode of a show, but I think we did tap into something that was really key, which is having that vision for what you see for yourself and for that business, understanding it, never losing sight of it, and taking that same approach to your interactions with your customers. Having a vision for what you want to do to transform their space and better their lives, helping them see that vision and helping them understand why you are the one to bring that vision to reality. And if you're able to do those things, you're probably going to find success, provided that you can do the rest of the stuff, like building properly, fulfilling your promises, and ensuring that you're pricing the jobs correctly. But one of the most important aspects is being able to sell that vision and sell yourself. And to do that, you have to have confidence and belief in your abilities and what you can do. And that's what you've been able to do in these first 2 years in business, and that's why you're growing.
Right. And I think like maybe what really helped me, and this is maybe going to sound silly, but like I feel like in the beginning, like I replayed the the things that I thought I wanted, and I replayed me succeeding, and I kept almost like you were just manifesting it into reality. I know that's a weird word to say, but like the more you think about your
It's
goals, the more you
true.
see your goals, the more you say it, you put them on your mirror. Like that's all silly stuff, but like the more you think about it, the more it becomes reality, and you do whatever it takes to get to that point. And like sometimes I'm like, well, maybe that's why I got to this point. And I just really, it's crazy. Like if I feel like if I wanted to do pools next summer, then I would do
You
everything that I
can.
possibly could do to research, learn, find somebody to help me with whatever, and I would make it become reality. And somehow, obviously, you can't just want to be a millionaire and then be a millionaire the next day. You have to work. You've got
You
to
need
put
to
in
know
the effort to
the
do it,
steps.
and it's
Yeah,
out there for the taking, man. Just and that's kind of
that's
how I
it.
feel for me. Like if I wanted something, if I want to do something different, create something, a unique experience, then like go get it. Just do
Yeah.
it. Like there's so many, like social media. There's so many ways to learn how to do everything.
Everything's out there.
Yeah, there are
Everything is
people
out there.
there are people on Instagram that like I have kind of like we talked on the phone. I just want to pick their brains, like what they're doing, what they think, what they see. And I just feel like it's all out there to learn. People ask me all the time, well, how'd you learn to build a kitchen? Or how'd you learn to build a pergola? And it's like, man, you just build the kitchen. Like there's so much out there on YouTube and
This,
Instagram. Like, and I got in the business and I only built one patio. I built a patio for myself 2 years prior. And I remember there was a guy I can't remember his name, but he had a YouTube page and he would like document every day of a kitchen build, and he had a fire pit next and then a sitting wall. And I just watched it and watched it and watched it. And I just followed other guys on Instagram back, swiping back on their stories. Oh, how do you do that
yep.
again? And I just feel like it's out there, man. Everything is out there for the taking. You just got to go, jump, take it.
I don't think there's a better way to end this episode, Richard. I think you just nailed it right
Mic
there.
drop.
Whatever you want to do, but that's it, man. Like
Yeah.
if you want to do it, believe you can do it. Research it. All the information is out there for the taking, like you said. Go on YouTube. Go on social media. Listen to shows like this. Talk to people. Just reach out and ask them. One of the best things I love about this show is everyone that I have asked to be on, every single person has said, yes, I want to be on the show. And that's because people are willing to share. This is an industry full of good, honest, hardworking people that want to see themselves succeed and want to see others succeed. So take advantage of that. We work outside. The sky's the limit in this industry. Like let's just do what we want to do and have fun with it. So thank you very much for being on. This has been a lot of fun, and I hope for everybody listening that they got a little nugget of even if it's just a little boost in confidence. Sometimes that's all you need to be able to take on the day and do what you got to do to grow your business and get the success that you dream of.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me
Richard,
on,
thank
and
you. And
let's go, man. Let's go get it.
yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Once again, if you want to, actually, let me ask you, Richard, before we wrap up, if people want to reach out to you, if people want to pick your brain on anything, I mentioned your Instagram handle at RC Outdoor. Is there a better way to reach you?
That's probably the best way. I'm on Instagram a lot. I don't mind the DMs, the questions. I feel like that is what helped me, kind of get to where I'm at. So I want to give back as much as I can to the industry. If you got any questions, please reach out. I don't mind helping. It might take more than a day or two, but reach out. I'll be sure to get back to you.
Great.